Cookie here. It's the Pat and JT podcast.
Pat and JT podcast.
Here we go.
With Pat.
So there's 4, 6, 8, 10. There are 3 people and 10 legs in this room.
That's right.
now.
Good job with
Figure
the
it out.
quick
Look at your math.
I really just kind of dove in. I didn't know if I was
He's
for
got
sure
a
right.
legal pad in front of him. I think
I
he
do.
already did his homework.
When you guys
did
were
you show
out
your
there-
work?
No. I hated showing my work. It's so dumb. Heidi is with us.
Yes.
Do you ever show your work? You don't have to show your work anymore, do you? You're not insurancing.
No, I just reach out to my partner in crime and finance or
Good.
accounting.
And they
or
show
audit.
their work.
Yes.
See? That's
And my work is see this email? They
Yes.
confirmed it's right.
That's showing you're citing this source.
Yes.
Right.
That's called checking your sources, right? Doing your research.
Correct.
That's all that matters.
Correct.
That's all that matters. So you want to introduce the other member of our group today who does not have a microphone on.
Not yet. And if
Yes.
there was a squirrel outside, you would hear her immediately. But this is Coco, our 1-year-old Saint Bernadoodle or Saint Berdoodle. I've heard them called either.
Saint
Bernadoodle.
Saint Bernadoodle.
Or Saint Berdoodle. I've heard both.
Wow, that's the first one's hard to say.
Yeah. So just shorten it up.
Yeah.
Saint Berdoodle. So
How much does she weigh now?
I don't even know. I'm a terrible mom.
Jack's not going to get as big as I thought he was. I
I
don't
mean,
think.
neither will she. She's tall, but I mean, if we wet her down, she's just a little scrawny. She looks like a greyhound, like little
That's
scrawny.
hilarious.
Yeah,
a lot
but
under
all of
there.
her fur makes her look very big.
It's kind of like, remember Doogie, when I had little Doogie? He was only like 3 or 4 pounds.
Yeah.
And he was like
Yep,
this big.
yep.
But if he's wet, it looks like a drowned rat.
It's funny.
Well, if for those that actually listened years ago when I was on, we had to put our we had 2 pugs, and one lived to 10-ish, and then the one that really hit me hard. I mean, they both hit me hard, but
Yeah.
Murphy, the female of the 2, lived to 16.
Yeah.
And so she was our baby before we had babies.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even realize we as a collective family were ready for another dog. Ryan just went ahead and made that decision independent of me. And so let's see.
How did he come to this choice of this type
He
of dog?
was looking for a non-shedder because the pugs shed everywhere.
Right. Little
And
tiny
I
wispy
think
hairs everywhere.
as a dude, he's like, let's get a big dog. You
Oh,
know, let's
okay,
have
yeah.
a big dog.
but then on the
But
other
he
side
got
of
one
that,
that's curly.
but with a doodle on the end of it.
but a doodle, yeah. So it's not like
It's a big doodle dog. So I get the big dog thing, but
Yeah.
with a doodle.
It's a German doodle.
right,
That
right.
doesn't happen.
Sounds like a Danish. It's not a German doodle.
So he did his research, and I scolded him a little bit because he got this one from a breeder, and I'm like, oh, there's so many at the Humane Society.
I
Granted,
know.
we didn't get one. We didn't get our pugs at the Humane Society either. But I'm a big believer in like, oh, go check out the shelters,
I know.
you know. And he said, I swear I did. And he said, but he was very stuck on the whole non-shedding, and I appreciate that because
That's
we
all
never
right.
had that before. So long story short, I was a little over a year and a half ago at a softball tournament with JC. And we came home. We were just hot messes. And the story was that Ryan had taken Austin, our middle child, mushroom hunting. So that was going to be an all-day ordeal.
Right.
The kids love mushroom hunting,
right.
let me tell you.
In the hot woods.
No sarcasm.
Right.
Like, I love all of his bonding thing. Let's go mushroom hunting, you know?
Let's go to High V.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
We'll go grocery shopping. I'm like, do you want the kids to like you?
That's
like,
mushroom hunting.
That's
Yes.
my version.
That is, seriously.
So I came home and I showered, and I just heard Ryan say, like, hey, JC, come to the kitchen. I got something to show you. And she's mini me.
Yeah.
I'm hot. I just got done showering. What do you want? And he's like, okay, if you don't want to see it, that's fine. We just have a surprise over here. And I hear her just, like this
You thought
literal.
she really loved the mushrooms?
Yeah. Those are the best mushrooms I've ever seen. And so I came around the corner. He has us all on video. And I mean, again, hot mess Heidi.
Did you post it? Because I think I saw this
Ryan
video.
posted
Yeah, I did
it.
see it.
And, she was just a little tiny fluffy thing at the time. And my first reaction was, what did you do? Like, in my mind, I thought he picked up a stray. It didn't even dawn on me that he researched and
Legitimately got
I
a
told him,
puppy.
I said, do you know how much crap you could, like, I mean, let's not joke about this, but if you wanted to have a side relationship,
piece, yeah.
I would have no clue.
Hey, Ryan, who's that lady laying downstairs on the couch?
I'd be like, oh, you've just been mushroom hunting so much lately.
Right. Yeah, no mushrooms.
Foraging. foraging,
Yeah,
right? He's taking care of the
foraging.
family. That's
Hunting
what
and
he's
gathering.
Once
So
again,
as
there
you
he
can
goes.
see, she fits
Oh,
right into the family.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know what's weird? She has such a human face, though.
She does.
Right.
It's her eyes.
It's
It's
her eyes.
almost eerie.
Yeah, one of our we had like this lady come in to help train. That lasted a few weeks, and she was awesome. Like everything that we haven't followed through with has been on the human side,
Right.
not Coco's effort. So come here.
Likes Pat's plant.
She loves
Yeah.
the plant.
That's the palm.
So that's exactly what this trainer said. She's like, her eyes are freaking me out.
Yeah.
Right.
It looks like a human's in there.
It really does.
Yeah.
You should try and get a picture of that up close.
Yeah, good luck having her look right at you.
When she was looking at me here a second ago, I looked down and thought, oh, she's like reading me.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't like that.
She just laid down. Okay, so
So
we must
what
be
I
comfortable.
absolutely love though is that you guys can have a dog in your studio.
Absolutely.
Right.
Like I was driving here, I'm like, this would have never happened before.
Nope.
And now I can just bring my furry friend in with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had Jack down here twice, but nobody else has been around when I brought him in yet.
Yeah.
He's not sure. It's just like, what is this? 'Cause
Another
he's
human?
He's been in 2 places his whole life, and the vet like 4 times.
Yeah.
And he just got to the point at the vet. When I take him in, they have a scale right inside the door. And the first time I took him there, it was like, not a chance I'm going to get on that. No, and you couldn't push him around. And now he just like,
He knows.
and just sits right down on
Jack
it.
sounds
is,
like a
is the,
smart
he's the
puppy.
dog version of a preacher's daughter. Totally sheltered, but when he goes to daycare, I bet he's just
He tears
humping
it up.
everything. Just
He does.
everything.
He came home the other day. He comes out. They're to the point now. When he comes out from behind, there are 2 different doors that he can come through.
Yeah.
And they don't even walk him out. They just open the door and he just comes running at me and we put his collar on and we're ready to go. But he was wet on one side. Oh, he was trying to take on this Newfoundland,
Oh.
this Newfie, who's just a big floofer. And
Was it all slobber?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'd slobbered each other up pretty good, apparently. So they play really hard.
Yeah.
So he was tearing it up back there. He's pretty well known.
I will thank Ryan to this day that he was proactive because if it was
Yeah.
up to me, I would not have been ready yet. And so the really cool kind of, I don't know, it's an eerie twist of fate, which Ryan didn't even realize at the time. So Coco was born on March 1st. And like I said, she's like, I guess it's over a year and a half. I don't know. You can do the math.
It's 26 months.
July,
But-
August, September. Yes.
Okay. So we put
She's 18 months.
Okay, we put
That's how parents do that.
Murphy when we went to put Murphy down, and I did. It was March 1st, 2 years prior.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. So, and I remember that because her last full day before I took her
Yeah.
in to the vet was it was a leap year. So February 29th, we did all the things. We
Yeah.
went to Petco and we had Panera breakfast, and we went to a park and we did all these things on her last full day. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Ryan didn't know it at the time, but I journal a lot, so I was reading an old entry and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Ryan!" I
God.
said, "This is kind of eerie, but cool at the same time."
That's great. No,
And
that
I
is-
will
that's
say,
cool.
like, I didn't think we were ready because our family life is crazy, but she's been super chill, like hyper, but chill in terms of like she's kind of a lazy dog. Like she likes to just go places and then just plop.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I always tell people like there are no bad dogs. Like there are bad behaved dogs, but dogs aren't bad in to their core.
No.
So I always think like if you're on the fence about it, unless you're like kenneling it every day, all day long
That's exactly right. And
in a
I
little teeny space,
ran into somebody who was in that situation that somebody they knew they leave their dog kenneled and they work a long day.
Yeah,
And I'm like, just put yourself in their shoes for a second.
I know.
I mean, imagine
It'd be rough.
maybe you can stand up and turn around. Big enough kennel, that's fine. But you got to go pee.
Yep.
You might be thirsty.
Anything.
Might be hungry.
Or just
Yeah.
cramped, claustrophobic. All
Do you
that
leave
stuff.
her? Is she kenneled when you're gone?
She's kenneled when we're gone, and what's funny is when we're home. So I work 1 day a week from home now, which is awesome. And then we're usually home. It's funny when the kids get older, like the high school sports aren't nearly as crazy as the youth sports for the weekend time
Good.
frames.
Good.
One's driving himself, and
Which is awesome.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So. In my mind, I kept thinking like we're gonna be so busy, and he's like, "Not on the we'll be home all weekend," and neither of us work. I know this will shock you. I do not work 60 hours a week. I know that shocks you.
Wow.
My work ethic.
That is so
but
weird. I didn't know that.
Usually home, at a
Right?
decent time.
Where's those Midwestern values? That's
And
Right,
frankly,
right,
I don't
right.
really like going out to like pampered chef parties and try on my jewelry parties and let's get
can
together and trade recipe parties. So I'm like,
promise you,
I got the dog at home.
I've never
know.
been to one.
Yeah, I'd love to, but I gotta hang out with my dog.
Because it's just because it's a sales pitch the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Total.
Oh my God, yeah.
I was going to ask you something about, and it was like in my head, and then it.
But then I just kept talking
Yeah,
and
no.
talking.
No. I don't remember what I.
Well,
no.
yeah, but I mean, no.
Yeah, every time I'd go to talk, you talk. No, I don't remember what it was. I'll just remember it and then just yell it out.
Cool.
Yep, I'm the same way though. The kennel when I'm gone, I don't kennel him at night now, but I shut the bedroom doors.
Yeah.
and he stays and he sleeps in his kennel during the day. He goes in and out. You know,
That's
if I'm
what I was
home,
gonna say with her too.
Yeah.
She'll just go lay in it with the door open, so she must.
It's a good space.
Not hate it, you
Nope,
know.
it's a good space.
What makes me laugh though is I tweeted just the other day about some lady that said, "I just learned that my office is pet friendly, and this greeted me this morning." And it was this cute little
my God.
black dog, and I was like, "How does anybody get anything done if they
I don't
have
know.
a pet friendly?"
Yeah.
Like that would be my dream world.
Exactly, but that's the exact reason why I can't do that
Yeah.
is because I'd never get anything done.
No,
Right.
'Cause
But
it'd
be
but
fun.
talk about just easing your anxiety and always having a
We used
smile
to
on your
have-
face.
We had a cat, my mom and dad's office. His name was Mr.
Mr.
No,
That's a band. You guys ripped that off.
that's a band.
Good creative.
Like Mr. Frank or Mr. Henry or something like that. And he'd just lay around,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
and everybody loved him. He'd sit on the edge of one of the desks, and it was right by the door. So he'd greet anybody that walked in. He'd end up there and looking at him until they pet him. And he'd lay on your desk or around you somewhere. But he also was the one that they referred to when anybody called that was doing sales.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's Mr. Henry. Is who you need to talk to, and he's he is on another call right now, and so we get all this mail for Mr. Henry, and it was all this sales crap. So you knew it was sales crap.
That is
Because, and if
awesome.
somebody called and said, "I was calling for Mr. Henry," returning a call from Mr.
Yeah.
Henry or something like that. BS. You were not.
That's funny.
Because the cat can't call you.
Well, I will say from the one day that I work from home, I have to, strategically, like when it's time for team conference calls
Yeah.
or like calling on vendor, like I just shut all the window blinds, package them up. Because if she sees a squirrel, like game on, or even
Yeah.
another dog,
When you're on the phone, there's
just
nothing.
freaking out. I'm like,
okay.
it's not like we just moved here. Like, you can't get through the window.
Because that thing he's on my property.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
That thing.
Yeah. And I'm not having it.
I'll watch. He's trying to take a picture.
like-
Why do animals always know when you have the camera pointed at them?
They're always looking at you like, why are you putting that thing
And
in
then
front
they,
of my face?
then they turn away.
If you have food, Pat, just find something. Find one of your chicken pouches or whatever you call that.
They're gone. Chicken. It was a chicken bag, but
You did call it a chicken bag.
Was it chicken or tuna?
that was chicken.
That was chicken.
I don't just sit there. I mean, I'm not an animal. I don't sit like in an office and just eat tuna because then it smells like a
Right?
alley in here. It's awful. It tastes good, but if you mix it with sandwich stuff, but just eating tuna,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you want a shot of those eyes, you better bring something to the table.
bring some
To the
chicken.
literally.
chicken bag.
And it better
But anyway,
not
she's-
be vegan.
Yeah, right. She can tell the difference. She's for sure Ryan's dog, though. It's pretty funny.
That's
like
crazy.
he can walk. He'll go to games without her leashed anymore. Just with her little collar, her little beep collar.
Little beeper. That's all it takes. That's good.
One game last summer, JC was up to bat at Dill Field. Anybody who plays softball knows where Dill Field is. And out comes Coco into right field from the far fence. Like he just wasn't paying attention to her. So she's like, "Hey, girl," to the right fielder. And JC didn't even admit. Like she didn't even admit it was her dog.
is not my
Because the
dog.
umpire had to call timeout and
Oh, that'd have been so embarrassing for her.
retrieve. Yeah.
So awesome.
And I look out because I'm coaching third base. I look out to Ryan like, "What the hell?"
What are you doing to me? Or the next one that goes out in the outfield, the next ball.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Here comes the dog.
Yeah. Dream job. I can see why the football teams have the dog that retrieves the
I love that.
tee. What is it called?
The tea.
The tea.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Coco, look up here. Coco.
This makes great
There we go.
podcasting right
I
here.
think I got a good picture.
Come on, Coco.
Wow.
Look at me.
Oh, and see, the Coco gets up for you.
Yeah, loves Jill.
That's too cute. Adorbs, man.
So I had nothing to talk about
So
today.
I was going to ask you though, because you mentioned something earlier that you journal. Do you legit journal all the time? Like you sit down, like, and what is a
still-
journal like? Like, dear journal.
Well, here's the deal. As you know, I used to blog a lot more.
Right.
I mean, I can't remember the last time I blogged. I should look. But I kind of switched my mentality of don't worry about if anybody reads it. Just write because you want to write.
Right.
And I still do that to this day. Like the blogging thing, I'm not trying to increase followers or, spread some big social justice message. Like I just write what I write. And if people, relate to it, all the better. So I liked the handwriting part of it. And honestly, I don't have
like
to have
actual write.
Yeah, actual
really?
write. Yeah, I'm an old school, cursive. I've got decent cursive. I haven't outgrown that. But it's just, some of it, what's interesting is I will come across things that I would have never remembered because I don't scrapbook. I don't do, great memory keeping for kids' activities.
Right.
So I took my journal to this trip. I don't know if it's been a month or so at this point, and I read part of it on the plane. Like instead of just reading a book, I just took my journal and like 2 years, three years back, I'm just like flipping through. And, I came across when my oldest hit his first over the fence home run and when, Ryan and I celebrated a job change. And it's like things that I forget of when those happened and how exciting it was.
I'm really bad with time. Like it could have been last week or 2 years ago.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And what's really important to me is journaling through the rough patch. That's probably more important to me than marking like special occasions. I should do both. But when I'm feeling kind of, it's good for me to journal just how I'm feeling because then I can look back and kind of see patterns.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me tell you how much self-shame I've had of I should eat better. I should really get around to exercise. This is the month. Like if I were to tell you
again today, I'm keto.
Every seasonal change, it looks like Heidi's on a bandwagon of getting better.
Like talking about somebody with a routine.
Right. Yeah.
Cycle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just funny. So I know where my weaknesses are and I know how to forgive myself. And I'll tell you one thing.
Cool.
I'm in a really what I perceive as a good, happy spot. And you recognize that in life. Like you're just like, oh, I'm kind of down or I'm kind of struggling. And I attribute so much to like, I'm not a highly religious, I don't talk a ton about God and faith.
Right.
But I'm telling you, when I started taking my faith more seriously again, I'm a big believer in I'm not in control of my destiny here. Like I can make good and bad choices, absolutely. But there are things that have happened through the course of several years that it all kind of makes sense in the end, but you can't tell.
Assign blame or credit at the time.
Yeah.
And then you go back and look at it and it's like, okay,
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I would never push like, if people agnostic, atheists, like I don't push my stuff on other people, but to me, I just firmly in my heart believe that there's something bigger and better at power. And there's this line I just delivered the other day to a friend on social media. I just said this whole concept of that. I'm going to get deep on you here.
Okay, here we go.
That I have immeasurable value in God's eyes, regardless of all of the things that I either succeed or fail at with my own self-imposed, goals or whatever rules. Or because once you stop believing, if I don't make my boss happy, I fail. If I don't, if I'm not the best coach to these kids, I fail. If my husband and I aren't laughing every day, I fail. Once you let go of that and realize like, no, you have immeasurable value. So just do the best that you can and be at peace with the relationships that you make. That just changed my entire outlook.
It's true.
And Coco came around that time too. So
yeah,
it is. It's
a big furry friend helps.
It does help immensely. But it is true. If you allow that to happen, you'll be surprised too about the shift that happens in your personal relationships too. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's like you know what? That's not so bad.
Right.
You'll pick
people
up
that
a few new ones.
You thought you needed, people that were in your circle, they're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then 6 months later, you look back and you're like, well, I didn't even realize they weren't in my circle anymore.
Because you realize you were doing all the work.
Right.
Or, whatever.
What's the
case
famous
may be,
saying
right?
that you're a reflection of like the top 5 people
or
who you want to emulate or surround yourself
right now,
with those
this
people.
is like Jesus telling you what to say because I swear to God.
Okay.
Because this morning I'm getting ready and I thought of that exact quote. I swear to God.
Yeah, good.
And the reason why I thought of it is because the person that I know in my life that emulates that more than anyone is Nick Baugh.
Yes.
Nick Baugh is every single person that I have met through Nick, whether it's Danny or Bo or any, they're all the exact.
He doesn't want to throw out the last names because they're on a first name basis now. So
D Wood and Rudy. So
no big deal.
And they're all the same person. They're happy.
Yeah.
They're good people. They're They respect their family. They have great relationships, great jobs. I mean, they're just the same person.
Yeah.
And that's so you don't. If Nick came in and this is my friend, Rick, and this dreadlock dude, stoned out of his mind came in, I'd be like, "What? Are you kidnapped?" They're just. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Nick had Matt on, one of the episodes.
Yes.
And, they talked about their old show and how, that rug got pulled out from under them, and then how Matt moved states and like turned down an opportunity, or an opportunity fell through that he wanted. And he also attributed like his faith. Like that's just the cornerstone of what makes him happy.
Didn't his one of his children was born like right around the time
The day.
And he felt like he got robbed of that opportunity
to enjoy it,
to experience the moment.
Yep.
Because his mind was other places.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because hearing him say that, you'd never think about that you wouldn't be able to enjoy the birth of your child because of something else going on.
Yeah.
It's two big, huge things happening at the same time.
Huge anxiety because all of a sudden I've got another mouth to feed and I just lost my job.
Yep.
Oh my God. And so, and my baby was born. Okay.
And like, don't mistake me. I'm not sugarcoating. Like there's some crap stuff in life. And
Sure.
I don't want anybody listening to this to be like, oh, well, everything's rosy for her. Absolutely not. But, even my job. So I'm at Nebraska Medicine now, and one of my service lines that I help is cancer. So it's like, how upset can I be with myself that I'm drowning in emails, or that, I didn't say the right thing at that meeting when I happen to go near a patient room, and like that instant slap of perspective of like, get over yourself. Just do the best you can and help as many people as you can.
It's like they say, when there's not a lot to worry about, people will always find something to worry about.
Yeah.
It just
True.
It's like, I just can't be happy. There's always going to be somebody, or there's always going to be something in the back of your own mind. It's like, just let go. You can be happy. It's kind of like getting on a plane. I mean, there are people that are afraid to fly, legit afraid. I get on a plane and it's like, Jesus, take the wheel. I mean, seriously.
Right.
Doesn't bother me one bit.
Even like turbulence or
Doesn't.
So if you're like crashing, you'd be like, deuces, Earth.
Well, I mean, there's nothing I can do.
I know,
And I've accepted the fact there is nothing I can do to affect the change of where this plane's going to end up. It's just like, and it's kind of like your life. There's.
But don't you sometimes just take a little sneak peek into the cockpit to make sure the guy
Not
doesn't
anymore.
look cross-eyed?
You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
I remember.
I kind of, but when you're entering the plane, like, how does Pilot Harry feel today? How's Susan doing?
Right? And then you're
Did
thinking,
they stay at the bar a little long? I'm just
can't get
curious.
out of my line to go back out of here, so I'm
Screwed.
I don't even want to know.
Oh, speaking of the last plane ride I was on, legit. I'm in the, we were taxiing, and then the pilot came over the loudspeaker, and I will give a shout out because it was Delta. Like they just handled it really well. But the pilot came out over loudspeaker and was like, "Hey, we're gonna have to taxi back, and it shouldn't take any more than 10 minutes, and we appreciate your patience during this time. Thank you for being a loyal customer." So we go back, and we're sitting there much longer than 10 minutes, and I start talking to the guy, never met him in my life, next to me.
Shocker.
And I was like, you do feel, because I recognize I'm extrovert, so you feel people out, like how annoyed is this person going to be? Will they be creeped out if but he seemed cool. And I was like, oh, hey, I said, what do you think's going on? He's like, I got to be honest, I think it's that lady. And he pointed out, at least 12 to 15 rows ahead of us. He goes, she was at the airport bar with us, and she was kind of going a little nuts there too. Not like outlandish, just the stuff she was saying. And she had a service dog. And I was like, oh, poor puppy, because she was not of right sound mind. So long story short, we're sitting there, and next thing I know, this has never happened to me before in my life. 4 cop cars outside of my window pull up to the plane. Legit police officers getting out of their cars. And there was a male flight attendant who was kind of just talking to her very calmly and exchanging information. And I could tell she went up and she fiddled with her overhead baggage, and then she came back down to her seat. I'm like, what's in that overhead baggage?
Right.
Like, what is it? Because like when cops pull up, you're like, oh crap, things got real.
Right.
They never once brought those cops onto the plane. Delta had their own people like cycling through, just talking her through, the scenario, and we're going to go ahead and just have you not remove, but I could just tell everything that they were saying was just
like kid gloves.
And the last lady that came in, she had to have been 72 years old, employee. And I'm like, genius. Like, who's going to go crazy on a 72-year-old grandma?
Right.
Who's going to do that?
Right.
And so they got her off the plane. We never did hear what happened, why.
Oh my God.
And we
I've
went
never
on
had
to
that
our
happen
destination.
either. I've been on with the air marshals.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you find that out at the end of the flight.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm
You were on with an air marshal, and it's like, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But that happens more than you realize that they're there. but you're not supposed to know.
Well, no,
they're
I wouldn't
there.
think so.
Yeah, not a good place to lose your mind.
No, but they let a lady not of right mind and with not of right mind get hammered at the bar, or did they could you tell you shouldn't be serving this lady?
Well,
Is she crazy going in?
My best friend Brian. No, I don't know who the guy is, but he was just yeah, she just was saying some weird things, and he said, and I recognized when she came on, they brought the dog on first, so everyone was like, oh, looking, and she said to the flight attendant, well, now that everybody's staring at me, I feel a little weird, and I did I thought she was joking,
Yeah.
but I think she was extremely paranoid, just highly on edge person.
Might have been. And was she drinking, or did they know? For
I
sure?
don't know
They
if
may
she
not-
was.
Yeah, she may not even been
Don't
drinking.
know if she
just
was.
might have been
Could have
really-
been
Just a crazy bird.
imbalance. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, get your attention when the cops show up.
So
that's
I just
for
leaned
sure.
over to him at one time and I'm like, be honest. Are you the reason? Can you just get off? He started laughing. That's when I knew it was cool. He's like, it's not me this time.
Somebody
It's
laughed
not
at
me.
my joke.
Yeah,
I'm on, and then he's like, "Oh, he has no idea
I got
what
2
he's
more
in
hours
for."
of this, buddy. No problem. I'm here all night.
You should post the picture of Coco looking at me in the car like, what?
What?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
will.
yes.
Her
She did-
expression.
Yeah.
You were driving here. You
Not
took a
impressed.
couple
And by the way,
pictures,
I
and that
did
was
when we were
hilarious.
not moving. I will say
Okay.
that for the record. We were not moving.
could kinda
I
tell.
just wanted to snap a couple to tell you we were on
Yeah,
our
she
way.
did. She had a look on her face, kind of like, I'm so disappointed in you.
Yeah, this is
Just
my
like
human.
she's behind.
Very with that
Behind you,
human face, dog face.
It
Judge.
was like, here's
Yeah.
my punchline to my joke. And she looked at me like,
Oh,
Got it.
yeah.
Might get a human, they said. They're fun, they said. Yeah.
Oh, this one's mine.
I love it. Oh, my God.
But she gets to come to studio,
Oh,
so not a bad
that's
day.
awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. I'm glad she came today.
Well, thanks. It was
yeah,
fun.
good idea.
So what else? So when was the last time you blogged? Is your blog still even up?
Okay,
Maternal
so it
media?
is.
it still,
Maternal
can people
media
still
is
go there?
for sure still up. But I think I told you before. I don't know if it was on air, but I was doing this whole challenge of I'm going to write 100 posts that are 100 words each.
Wow, that's aggressive.
Wasn't that-
Exactly 100 words. So that at
wasn't
the end
that
of
like
it,
2 or 3
10,000.
months ago?
Check my math.
Is that about 2-3
Oh,
months ago?
like when we got Coco, maybe?
Okay.
Year and a half? I don't know. So check my math. 10,000 words, right?
100 times 1,000 is 100. No, 100
100,
times 100 is
100.
it's 1,000.
Huh?
I said 10,000.
I mean 10,000. That's what I mean. 100
Okay,
times
good.
100 is 10,000.
So-
Yes.
So I'm patting myself on the back there
Yeah.
for that math.
Good job.
But I thought that'd be cool. At
Yeah.
the end of it, you wrote 10,000 unique words, different topics. Well, the whole just sitting down and spitting out exactly 100 with any level of meaning behind it
It'd be tough, right?
stalled a little.
I was having
bit.
trouble on Twitter today with describe your dog in 5 words.
Oh, yeah. So yes, I am still.
trending,
And
by
when
the
I
way.
inevitably give up on that project, I will publicly announce it. But I haven't given up yet.
Okay, don't.
Maybe I'll pump one out today.
Right.
Maybe I'm feeling
I mean,
inspired.
just roll it back and just do one a month.
One a
like
month.
then you're still
I know.
blogging, you're still going.
I know.
That
But
would-
again, I no self-imposed pressure, Pat. This is a new Heidi.
Right.
No self-imposed.
You are namaste all over the place.
Like.
You know, you have a run walker shirt. Run? Are you a run? Do you run?
No,
Run
this
ring?
was one that we sponsored, so the gal who organized it had extra shirts.
Like, because you look, you got yoga pants on and a running shirt. I'm like, she is new Heidi.
right?
No, just extra shirt.
Okay.
Running shirt.
You got to know the people.
I ran
right.
to go
Yeah.
get it. That's about
You
it.
did not run a marathon, my ass.
No, thank you.
Not
Did
a
the
chance.
marathon shirts come in my size? Like, this is what I want to know. Like, how large do those shirts run?
The last night I actually took a picture, then I deleted it because people might think it's perverted. But last night
Who's
we're
gonna
at,
see? Who's gonna
it's a
see
good
it?
lead in for just that you just never know.
Okay, it's on your cloud.
Well,
I wanna-
you just never know. So we're at Dick's Sporting Goods getting softball stuff for Soph, and we're
Yeah.
going through and we're looking at sliding pants,
Uh-huh.
And there was some boys under sliding pants that have the cup already in it that were in the girls section area,
Okay.
and it was like a small and had a little tiny baby cup that was in there. It was the cutest thing I've ever. I took it
my
out. She goes,
God.
"Dad, what are you doing?" I go, "You gotta look at this cup." I pulled it out. And then I told her, I'm like, yeah, you know what your grandpa used to do to me, but when I first started wearing these, didn't tell me they were a cup. It was a nose guard. And so I turned around and put it on my thing, and she's like, Dad! Yeah, so I deleted that picture because I don't want me sniffing a kid's cup at Dick's.
Oh, the baby cup. Without the
So
explanation,
cute.
the picture could incriminate you
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
Oh my God!
For
Well, you
sure.
know it's already on the cloud, right?
Hopefully not.
I'm just saying.
Well, it's at least on Dick's security camera.
That's awesome.
Local father sniffing kids'
Keep an eye on
cups
the
at
bald
Dick's.
guy. Aisle 40. Keep an eye.
At Dick's.
So gross. It was the cutest thing, though. It was so tiny.
Can we have a description on this subject? Well, there's a girl next to him who looks mortified.
Yes.
Not sure if they're related.
And now he's putting the cup on his face.
Cup on his nose.
She's running
Where?
away.
Yeah.
Move it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Good grief.
So what are you doing for the rest of the day?
Tonight, so we split up. Ryan handles a lot of basketball stuff, and I do the softball stuff. And we got our torture in the indoor cage a couple nights back. So softball is not tonight. That's the key.
out.
I was pitching in cage in an indoor facility in 90 degree. I mean, even at 7 o'clock, it had to have been 87.
Just
cooling down.
Breeze and thick.
So I was disgusting, but those girls got a good 30% strikes that night.
What's the weekend look like? That's awesome, right? 3%. Easy.
I always tell them, like, look, I'm training you to go after the ball until you know it's a ball.
Right.
So
they're
I'm
not
not
all
going to
perfect.
tell you when I'm going to throw a strike.
That's a good point. IRL, they're not all perfect.
No.
You gotta be thinking.
We could do a hitting machine. Well, that's not real life. Now, will the pitchers you face be better than me? Yes.
90%, yes.
But let's just go up with a hitter mentality.
There you go. Go
Yeah.
after it. Get after it.
So yeah, not much, Pat.
What about the weekend?
Oh, hold on. One thing. I'm in
Yeah.
the middle of and I cautious of how many people I tell about this. So it seems like a podcast is a good thing to reveal.
We're
Good
fine.
plan.
I'm watching the third season of 13 Reasons Why. Are
Oh,
your
I
kids
did not.
into that at all?
No, my daughter watched like the first couple episodes and just lost interest. And
I
never
watched the
it.
whole first season.
Yeah, so it's graphic. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of graphic and language and everything. But the boys watch it, and so I want to watch it to know what they're watching.
Yeah.
I guess suppose a better mom would say, no, you can't until I watch it. But
Right. I mean, that's good for the very first time that happens. And after that, you're like, you know what? Look for a couple online reviews.
Roll the
and say,
dice.
"See ya."
yeah,
Totally.
So I want to see what it's all about, and I've kind of just gotten into it. Like,
Yeah.
I can't not watch it now that I know the whole thing that's unfolding. But I'm more than halfway through season 3, so I'll have to let you know what I think
Okay.
of that.
Okay.
Okay. That's cool. I'm watching Absentia.
What's that?
We talked about this a couple podcasts
Oh,
ago.
so clearly I'm giving up,
Yeah,
but I didn't
pretty
listen to it.
famous.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Thanks.
That's okay because hilarious side note to this story. I was talking about it. I don't even remember who was with us that day.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But anyway, because they didn't know what it was either. And the second season had just come out recently. And the person that stars in it, I couldn't remember the TV show she used to be on. So I say it, and then about 12 hours later, no, it was 24, maybe about 34 hours later, I was
Yes.
standing over my sink eating my dinner at home watching TV. And all of a sudden I went, Castle!
It came to you finally.
And why it came to me then, I'd given up. I didn't care at that point. I didn't even care. But anyway, the TV
Eating
show
dinner
Castle,
over her sink, watching TV. I love that whole sentence.
yeah.
Yells, "Castle!"
Someone just gazing in through the window on their walk. There's that crazy lady.
There's that lady.
I wonder where her cute dog is.
And Jack looks at me like, huh? I'm Jack, not Castle. Anyway, so she was on Castle, was the TV show that she was on before. So she stars in this series. It's on Prime.
Okay.
It's very good.
Okay.
It's just,
I'll take your
throw
word
out
for
there.
it.
So that's always, I always like suggestions for
I
some
know.
things to dive into. I don't want to like flip around. I hate wasting time flipping channels. I just
Yeah.
want to know what I'm going to go
Yeah.
into. Right?
Yeah.
I
me
would
too.
never have admitted I watched 13 Reasons Why when I was a Omaha blogger. That
Right,
would
I
not
know.
have been. That would have been frowned on.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
But you could have said you're watching it just to see what it was all
Research.
about. Researching it.
Research.
Yes.
This is true.
Yes.
I may have to look back into that though, because I know the first episode or the first series. I liked the whole first season.
Yeah. Well, you know what I
mean, not
tell
liked, but you know what I mean.
What I
It's
tell
like-
my own kids though, and especially if parents are on like the fence about, gosh, are my kids like check with your kids if they're watching it,
Yeah.
because I'm telling you there are scenes in that show, especially like
This season.
graphic, that I just told my boys like, I'll talk about this with you guys and I'll watch and we'll not maybe together because that's super awkward some of these scenes, but I just said there are scenes in there that it's almost like when you see something terrible like in real life and you think to yourself like I'll never reverse to that the day before I saw something that bad.
Right.
Like I just can't go back to not knowing what that's like to see that. That's the risk you take with a show like this because it's like I don't want kids to be overly traumatized. And if your kids
Yeah.
aren't at least older middle school, high school, I just think it's a very adult content, extremely adult content.
But there's so much stuff
agree
that they
with you, though.
just randomly stagger
I
across
know.
on YouTube that is, I've been blown. Even last night, Bennett showed me a video that was just, he thought was funny. Some of the, 90% of the stuff these kids think's funny is not funny.
Right.
But he showed me something, he's going crazy, and it wasn't, but it was like, wasn't violent, but it was just like gross and naughty and just like what?
Yeah.
And they can just stagger upon that. So the fact
well,
that
you see those videos that they were putting out even on social media. I know that's where you'll find them on Twitter and everywhere else, I'm sure. But they had the videos for a while there. There was some kind of a phenomenon going on in New York City where there were kids and they were probably in their late teens, early 20s maybe, but probably late teens. They'll be walking down the street and somebody walk by them and they just haul off and hit them.
Yeah.
And just deck them. And then you're hearing about other kids watching that because they think it's funny.
Right. Don't you ever wonder how desensitized they are to everything at this point?
I'm sure.
Yeah. And
Everything.
that talk about traumatized. I didn't see that coming at all. I had no idea. And it's like, okay, somebody's got to give me a heads up before you just hit retweet.
Right.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
please.
Yeah.
Because I will block you. I'm just like, I don't
agree.
need that. I don't need
agree.
that kind of a surprise in my feed. Thank you very much. Oh my God.
Well, Heidi, you're awesome. Thanks for coming in.
And you
hanging
guys
out.
are just off and rolling. Like
Just
the
cruising
fact
it.
that
We're
you
trying.
are still so young into this whole
Oh my
adventure
God.
is amazing to me. How much you guys, how many people you've brought on board, and how many interviews have you had.
You know what I love is the whole Parkville Media itself, the number of new podcasts that are either just launching or getting ready to launch is crazy.
Yeah, it's super fun.
And it is because everybody's so creative with things that they want to do. And it's like, I never would have thought of doing that.
Yep.
That's a
And like they've already been thinking about it and working up the plan. They just didn't know where to
They didn't know how to do it.
So
yeah.
spin off of that. If people are interested, they just email you guys or what?
You can, yeah.
Absolutely. It's hey@parkvillemedia.com or either one of us at parkvillemedia.com, Pat at Jill at. But if you're interested at all, I mean, we love having people come in on the podcast just to get a feel for it too. Small guy.
Yes.
He's coming
I
back in a
listened to
few
his.
episodes. He's
Yep.
going to come back in next, probably in the next 5 or 10 days.
Cool.
He's going to be back in again. And he does his own podcast and he has his own promotion and he's working to help other people, start their small businesses.
Very cool.
And so, it's like, I loved having him come in, getting a chance to get to know him better. Another guy that's going to be on very soon too is Dan Hoppin. And he is a sports guy on one side, but then also he has a blog that he does and it's called Just a Guy with an Appetite. Restaurant Hoppin'.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Remember Dave Hoppin, Husker, back late 80s, early 90s?
Sure.
He was a basketball player, went to the
stud.
NBA.
I feel terrible because if I don't remember him, I'm
His dad,
You're
his,
young pups.
Right,
yeah,
there you go.
Super young.
I think his dad was there like in the mid 80s, but then he went to the NBA
Okay, cool.
for several years. He was in the NBA, maybe 10 years he was pro or a little more. And so, so there's that angle too. But we were like, we've talked to him before in a previous life, but never had him in studio just to be able to get to know him a little bit more and talk about his blog and
Well,
and what
it's just
he's
fun
doing. So
listening along. You
Thank
feel
you.
part of it as a listener. You guys do a good job.
I
you.
appreciate that. Thank you.
All right.
And thanks for coming in.
Well, I'll take my my guest and leave.
Oh, she says what? Here we go. How did you teach her to do that?
Mainly food, but yeah. But if you stare in those human eyes, she gets nervous. Like,
she reads you.
I think it's like, stop looking at me.
Look at that. That is just crazy. The picture I got's pretty good. It's on our Facebook.
Wait.
Our neighbors in here are like, what is going on?
That's all right. They'll get used to it. Okay, so real quick before we go.
Need to thank Kugler Vision.
Yes, we do. We need to thank Kugler Vision. Just looking at those pretty beautiful eyes, she ditched the contacts, ditched the glasses. She could get away with glasses.
They may be able to get a reading on that, those human eyes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
KuglerVision.com is where you need to go and you can get your consultation lined up right there on the website. It's super easy. Website is packed with information and it's really well organized. Easy to use, user-friendly, as they would say. But take some time if you've been thinking about dropping the glasses, the contacts, that whole stupid routine. Get the consultation and find out what your options are.
The technology's there. Get it. Get the tech. Have them fix your eyes. If you're a candidate, have them fix your eyes. And then the cool thing is just say, when you go there, the promo code is PatentJT 2019. PatentJT 2019. You're going to get $500 off the procedure that's right for you.
Right? So
pretty big deal.
What better time to go do it?
right.
And thank you to Kugler Vision and get online, KuglerVision.com.
Thanks for listening to our podcast.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Parkville Media Production.